It's hot. That's Florida for you. Hot and muggy, no boring concrete. Rico Ramos right here. Hey, so we're back at this house. You probably recognize the background from previous videos where I was doing the wood plank floor. As I mentioned, the place looks great, and we'll schedule a day to come back and do a walkthrough through that. But we were called back to do the front and back patio porches and a textured surface, so a non-skid or non-slip surface. And then we're going to go ahead and seal it according to the color that the customer wants, which is kind of painting the floor, but it's a concrete xylene solvent-based type sealer that happens to be colored. So don't be mistaken when someone says, hey, I'm painting the floor, or you hire someone to do that. You don't want to use regular paint because that will peel and crack, and most of you probably have seen that. If it's not a concrete sealer that's tinted, then I would walk away from that quickly. So with that being said, we're going to do a walkthrough real quick of all the grinding and all the prepping that we've done these past couple days. Some delays were due to rain, others were because we had to patch in some stuff, a trench to be specific, and I'll go over that as well. We're going to do a little bit of a walk around on this. It might be a little lengthy of a video, but I think it's very informative because prepping is key, and I cannot stress that. Prepping is so key to any project, any floor, anybody that you hire, because like I said, and I've said this a million times, if someone does your floor, they can do a great job, or any project for that matter, but if the prepping's not there, the stuff's going to crumble, it's going to fall apart, it's going to peel, you're going to have some bad issues there and callbacks, and I've seen it, and some lawsuits as well. So with that being said, let's get into this. Here's the front porch. Sorry, let me do a wide pan here. I was about to get into this real quick. So this is the front porch that we're doing here, and we have prepped it, we have ground it, and let me show you what a good prep job looks like. I'm talking about, we get the face, we get everything in here, we get all the corners, all the edges, outside corners and inside. We grind it down nice and flat, smooth. Like I said, we're getting all the corners. We don't miss anything here, whether it's these little nooks, these little areas that just kind of jog out inside the corners here, and the trim, where the trim meets, where the window meets, where the door sill is, all this, all that, all the way around. That's prepped. We blew it off, we pressure washed it, and then we blew it off again. So now it's sound and clean, dust free, and then we're gonna end up coating that. So let's jump down here real quick. Now the next piece I'm going to show you is actually a slab we didn't pour. The homeowner decided to pour when they did this section here, and so just to save a little money, and plus he was he used to do it, I guess, sometime back in the day, and so he decided to take it on himself. We got Chino here, right here, live in effect. Hey, this is a sneak peek of the new shirts to come. I'm still modifying. No Boring Concrete, Nike soccer tees with the No Boring logo on there. Boom. But we got more stuff to come here. And I do want to brag on him for a little bit because he hasn't prepped many floors with me. A lot of the other jobs we've been doing have either been much larger, so I've subbed them out to get prepped, but he has been kicking butt on grinding and prepping and make sure everything's done right. And I couldn't ask for anything better. So this is something I wanted to just mention real quick. This is super soft concrete. I don't know if you can see it here, but there's like a little halo of a circle there, and another one there. And that's just from a bucket sitting on there that we're mixing concrete. And this slab was so soft, I was rubbing my boot on here and it was just coming off. So there's different ways to do it, and this was done one specific way, and my coating should bond to it very well, and it should be a sacrificial layer of what's going to be done to this. But for future reference, I mean, you make sure it's done right. Make sure it's power troweled, machine troweled, burnished in there, so you're getting a nice slick surface on there, even if you decide to do a broom finish. But anyways, that's this is a slab we're going to do as well. And then coming into the main outdoor patio back porch area, which here we had some let me point out some areas from like here to there were kind of sloping, you know, it was kind of going out and then raising up at the very end, so it was causing like a water catch trench of a sort right along that whole area right there, going down there, and all the way across. And so we flatten that out, and also when we put the coating on there, hopefully we should be able to float out most of it. Here again, doing the edges, taking it up, inside corners, prepping, clean, all the way down the edge there. And then the big thing here was this this area right here. We had a huge hump right there. You can see where it was grinding. So that got flattened out. This is now transitioning to this, and is going to drop down to this area. This slab here alone had already dropped down. I want to say maybe about 1/4 of an inch compared to this slab over here. And all we can do is just kind of float it over with the material, unless we actually get some self-leveling and build it up and all that, but that's not what was in the budget. So we're trying to do what we have and make best of it. This area right here, like you can see here how wide of a trench is, about 4 inches wide, and it was chipped out because of a gas line that you can see over there at the wall. But we end up filling it in, and I say, you know, you can never do too much prepping and do it right. So I'm going to tell you what I did in this area, and I'm not much of a concrete pouring forming guy, but what we did do here is we took out some extra soil that was in there. We compacted it down flat. We put in some pea gravel rock. You can see some rock there that we used. We created a bed of rock. Then what we end up doing, we end up cutting these slits in here, going about 6 inches or so on either side, there and there and there. And I actually found some rebar that was epoxy coated, which I didn't even know existed, but I was able to use that. And then I think that's awesome, because then I don't have to worry about the rust coming up through the slab eventually in the future. But about halfway down through the slab, we epoxy pinned them on each end, setting in there, connecting it, almost creating a stitch between these two slabs. And then we poured in some concrete that set up pretty quickly and is super hard, and then we were able to grind it down, and then I was able to feather it out. So that's gonna hold up pretty well. And then once we put the coating and then the 2 layers, 2 coats of colored pigmented sealer, you're never going to even know it's there. I mean, you may feel a slight transition there because it does slope down, it steps down in a sense, but other than that, I think it's going to hold up pretty well. So now that we have everything prepped, these walls are a little wet still, so we haven't taped them up, but we're about to put down the base coat. And once we put the base coat down of the overlay, we'll come back the following day and spray the texture coat on there. After that's done, then we'll put the color sealer, which is a desert sand, almost like a light creamy beigey color, and it should, you know, brighten up this area here. But probably the next video will not be until I'm doing a final walkthrough of everything here to be done. So like always, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe, thumbs up, like, feedback, share. You got questions, you got comments, feel free to post them on there. I'll try to respond as quickly as I can, and I do respond to all the replies, some form or fashion. So thank you. NoBoringConcrete.com, Rico Ramos. See you.